right, we ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You're going to be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yes.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh. Thank you very much. Hi.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
What do you got for me today, man?
So, you kind of posed a hypothetical last week.
Yeah.
So I think we can take turns posing our hypotheticals
Okay.
to start the show.
Sounds good to me.
So last week you said if a trickster got you in a loop.
Yeah, we went to the time loop
Yeah,
question.
time loop. I said ping pong. You were like, it might be a little difficult. But you could learn. You could learn. So my hypothetical is kind of along those same threads. So if you could go back in time and uninvent something.
Wait, uninvent something?
Yes, uninvent or prevent something from being invented. What would you erase from history?
Now, is this something that, like, you erase it from history?
Like, yeah,
and
it will never
never ever be
yes.
invented ever again?
Yes. And, like, you can't, like, uninvent it and then invent it in the future.
Man, that's a tough one. That's really hard because there's, like, so many consequences to, like, everything.
I mean, it's the butterfly effect.
Yeah, for sure. But it has to be something that was, like I can't say, like, violence, right?
Yeah, like,
because that's not, like, an actual invention of man.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my knee-jerk reaction is to say that I wish that that nuclear bombs had never been invented, and mainly because I realize, like, all the implications of, like, nuclear fission and stuff that we have, power that's supplied by it and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time,
cleaner and
I get all the benefits that we've received from it, but at the same time, like, the ever-looming threat that just kind of, like, is over top of all of us of, like, if somebody launches a nuke, then everybody launches a nuke, and the whole world is gone.
Okay, so here's the
exactly, like, the end of the world. Like, we're going back to the things that we used to think were hilarious when we were in college,
becoming more and more of a possible
and
reality.
now we sit here in reality going, like, that it seems like with guys in certain lands over in Eastern Europe right now that are acting the way that they're acting and stuff. Not to mention just the kookiness of North Korea sometimes. That when we think about places like that, I kind of go, like, man, it'd be really nice if they just didn't have the capability of potentially destroying the world. So I say that, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, man, lawnmowers. like any iteration of lawnmower. Yeah, like I would be completely on board for we just let things
just, like,
grow.
Natural overgrow and it takes care of itself.
And if you're really gung ho about wanting to like have your yard shorter than everybody else's, then get yourself a scythe, man, and just go to town and have fun, do what you do. But here's my reasoning behind that, right? Is number one, I hate to cut grass.
I don't think anybody likes to cut. I mean,
no, there's people that do.
Well,
man.
yeah, I was gonna say if you have, like, a ton of land and you have, like, a nice bougie lawnmower, you have your headphones on with music blaring, your cup holder, your cooler filled, like, that's one thing. But
there's some guy, but there's guys too that are using, like, push mowers and stuff, and they enjoy the heck out of it.
That's true.
And man, if you're one of those guys, God bless you. I love you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I respect you for what you do. Your lawns look super nice. I just don't want to do it myself. And I grew up, like, with a lot of grass to cut on the farm that I grew up on, and I think that is where the deep-seated hatred for cutting grass came from. But the other thing is also the adult pressure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, Jim's out there cutting his yard. I gotta go cut mine now.
Yeah, like, I live in a neighborhood, like, close enough where I can, like, hear my neighbors fart sometimes, and the pressure of, like, all these guys got out there, on this nice sunny day and cut their lawns, and so now I've got this pressure because my lawn looks 2 inches taller than everybody else's that I've got to go cut my lawn too, and I'm just like, I don't need that in my life, I want a
Right.
day. I need a Saturday to relax. Is what I
Yeah,
need.
exactly. Well, and like you go out west and stuff, and they have like AstroTurf for their yards,
Right.
Or they have like Stonescapes, and I think those actually look better half the time than yards.
100%. That's what we need. We should kick that off in Ohio.
Oh, right.
And just be like, all right, you know what, guys, we're moving to Stonescapes.
Right.
We just have a collection of rocks. But
Yeah.
but that's like another thing too is you still gotta spray everything and try to kill all the weeds because they grow up between everything that you put down up here
Right.
too and stuff. So for those that don't know, here in Ohio, it is feast or famine. And what I mean by that is it's crazy to me because coming from North Carolina, in the wintertime, all the grass, it doesn't like die,
It
but
goes dormant.
it turns brown
Yeah,
and goes like
yeah,
dormant,
just
right?
dormant.
Because like where I grew up, there wasn't any snow. Things didn't freeze that often. Here in Ohio, the grass goes from like growing like gangbusters to frozen solid, and it's like in its state, right? Like it never like went to sleep. It just like
Right.
froze. And then the moment that spring hits and everything unthaws, the grass is right back to growing again. So it's like literally if you're not shoveling snow, you're mowing, grass. That's what drives me crazy about it. So I'm like, yeah, I think lawnmowers would be
Yeah.
a big one for me.
I think the one thing that I would go back and like uninvent is, I don't know if this is more of, I guess you know, with the whole like American dream and everything, the advent and implementation of urban sprawl.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like development,
Yeah,
basically?
like big, huge developments where you lose some of this natural beauty. You have half the country in, you know, two centralized locations,
Yeah.
basically. You have space. Everything's crammed in and
Right.
everything like that. And I think there's something to say, and people aren't nearly as neighborly as they used to be with all of these close neighborhoods. Like, half the time you don't even know who your neighbors are.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
why can't we just go back to spreading out a little bit, having families stay together more or less,
Mm-hmm.
where you have outside of the cities, like you leave the cities to the cities and you kind of reclaim some of that. You reclaim some of the farmland and things like that where people had tons and tons of land, but now it's all developments and stuff.
Yeah, I could totally get down with that too because I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. Like,
Right.
we had neighbors, but the vast majority of them were family,
Right.
and everybody kept to themselves and stuff like that. Like you didn't interact
you
with
still-
a neighbor unless you wanted to.
But
kinda
but a
deal.
lot of those times though, you still knew your neighbors because if something happened out on the farm or whatever.
Oh, 100%.
like,
We all supported
those are
each
your
other.
closest.
Yeah.
Those are your closest people if something bad happened.
Yeah, you had to. And I find that the older I get, the more I desire to be back in that kind of situation,
Right.
like back on the farm that I grew up in that sense. And not saying that like we're like moving there or anything, but just, you know, like we live here in downtown type of area, like in a block. You know, we're fortunate enough that across the street from us is a large cemetery, so there is kind of some openness. And by the way, they're the best neighbors I've ever had.
Yeah, they really keep themselves
Quiet.
really quiet.
But yeah, like we've, you know, the older I get, the more I'm kind of like, yeah, I do miss the days of not having to see people if you didn't want to, not having like kind of the noise.
Right.
'Cause that's one of the things recently is like I've been like, man, there's just a lot of noise here in the city, like the sirens whenever the police or fire departments have to go places, and that's not a bust on them. I love them, love what they do. It's just when I'm getting ready to go to sleep and I hear the sirens like fire off again, I'm like, man, I just would really love
Right.
a solid night's sleep without having to worry about that kind of stuff. But you know, that's how it goes.
Right.
I
No,
can get down with that though.
Yeah,
I like your
think
idea.
both those are. I mean, they kind of coincide with one another because then you don't have that adult pressure of seeing somebody mow your lawn.
Dude, 100%, right? Like when we were on the farm, I just had the pressure of my dad and granddad being like, you have to mow the grass,
Right.
which was a whole different type of pressure and stuff. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally get down with not having to like, you walk outside on any given Saturday and having to see Jim Bob down the street, like mowing his lawn and stuff like that. It's like, gosh, man, now I got to cut my grass.
Right.
All right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So here's one that was an interesting kind of would you rather question that I found the other day. Question is this: would you rather have a tree in your backyard that constantly produces every fruit in the world? The fruit is always the best quality and in the best condition, meaning so it's
It's
ripe,
always ripe. It's
ready
always
for you to
fresh.
consume. Yeah, like you can have it right
Like
away,
you pick
right?
it. Yeah. Okay.
So, but it's going to produce one of every fruit in the world all at the same time.
Okay.
Or would you rather have a trained dinosaur of your choice, meaning you get your pick that you can ride, use it to do work for you, use it as your guard dinosaur or whatever you want to call it, that is a trained dinosaur at your disposal anytime you need it. So would you rather have the tree with every fruit in the world always ready to use, or a trained dinosaur? And if you pick the dinosaur, you have to tell me which dinosaur you're picking.
See, that's that's you're playing to my what I've been hyper fixating on recently, and I think that's kind of rude. No, I've been re-listening to all the Jurassic Park books.
Oh, have you really? So you're like really thinking dinosaurs.
Yeah, so like that, I'm like 5 years old again. I got dinos on the brain.
There you go.
Oh man, I mean, it would be so cool to have all this fruit though, because like you wouldn't have to go out and buy them.
Right.
Like that's like a huge cost saver.
And all the ones in the world.
But like, how big
some of
is
those
the
are very
tree?
expensive.
Though?
Well, I mean,
is it like
if it's
is it
producing
like
one of every fruit?
like
in
are
the
we
world,
talking like redwood sized tree? Like, or are we talking like?
I mean, I'm thinking it's got to be huge.
It's got to be huge, right? So
just to be able to house all those fruits. I'll give you the hypothetical and just say that like regardless of size, the fruit that you want will always be within like arm's reach.
Shoot, that's tougher than it should be,
right?
Because like
that's what I thought when I heard this. I'm like,
you ask any
knee jerk reaction, you're like dinosaur,
dude, a pet T-Rex.
Yeah, I want one big enough that I can ride on it, intimidate the heck out of anybody. And if I see a teenager that cuts me off in like a Honda Civic, he can just pick it up and throw it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But
the fruit thing is so enticing because there's so many fruits that I love.
Yeah.
So many fruits that I would love to try. Some of them that cost like crazy amounts. And if you think about it, like it's in perfect, like best quality, perfect condition and ripe whenever you want it.
So then, okay. So are we talking, I don't know how specific I want to get into this because like.
No. Come on. Let's
so are we talking, because biologically speaking, there's no such thing as a vegetable. Did you know that?
I don't know that I was prepared for this deep dive.
Okay, so
I did not know that.
Yes, so basically they're stems, roots, and leaves. Like those are the qualifications for. There's no like biological definition of a vegetable.
Okay.
So like if we're talking fruits though, so you're talking tomatoes, because tomatoes are fruit. Avocados, like those are all fruit. Like so things that we typically would think of as vegetables are also on that tree. See, like that's where I'm like, I kind of want the tree. Like, I kind of want the tree. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, this was legitimately, because I told you earlier, like, I have a list of a bunch of different questions that I've come across that I want to ask you. This is legitimately one of the toughest ones for me, like, that I've come across, because I'm like, I just don't know. There are aspects of the dinosaur thing, and I don't even know that I would pick a T-Rex.
Right.
That was another hard thing for me, is, like, if you're going to narrow it down to one dinosaur, right? Because T-Rex sounds awesome. But then at the same time, having like a velociraptor that's your guard dog inside your house,
right?
Phenomenal.
Or like going back to like the cutting off in traffic, like a triceratops. or
plows them out of the way, right?
Like with the big huge club on the tail. Like,
but then didn't you think like, let's go gigantic? I don't know if they're still called the brontosaurus or not, but like you think about like a brontosaurus and that massive like crane of a neck and stuff, and it's like, oh, I'm helping to like repair someone's roof, and it's like my dinosaur just picks up the whole stack of
and
shingles and puts it up there for me or whatever, that kind of stuff,
But see, then like
but the fruits, right? Like you keep going back to it,
like you keep going into it.
That's
like
the hard part.
I think I'm gonna take, because my only problem with the dinosaur is I think the novelty would wear off.
Oh, 100%. Well, and that was my question, is because it doesn't specify in this question, like in this hypothetical, do I have to feed this dinosaur?
Right.
Like, am I caring for the dinosaur the same way that I'm caring for my dog?
Right.
Because if so, now you're talking about a whole different ball game, because those things, they're monstrous, and the amount of meat that they've got to eat. So now I'm like,
well, yeah, I mean, it'll also depend on what kind of
dinosaur it is, right? But yeah, you think about like even if a brontosaurus,
like like the logistics of the dinosaur.
I'm thinking my dinosaur is like romping through the cemetery across the street here and eating all the leaves off of all the trees. It's like people are gonna get ticked off about that,
right?
And then there's a lot of like complications in that one.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. But yeah, I think I will have to go with the tree.
Yeah, I lean towards that. I definitely lean towards the fruit thing, because again, like there's so many things that I want to try, and you could sell them, so there's always a benefit of that too. You're making money off the tree,
right?
Good stuff.
So
there.
yeah, and I guess the only other like thing would be like the time it it takes to grow. Like it would be the only other.
I think it's
like,
instantaneous.
It is
I think that's the whole idea behind it. Is that
so
it always has
boom,
one
and
of
then
every
plop,
fruit in the world available to you.
Yeah, no, I gotta go. I gotta go to the tree.
You're like,
gotta go to the tree.
I'm full on board with the tree.
The more you explain it, I'm like, no, the tree.
What about if you had to protect it though? So like,
then I just get the other person with the dinosaur just to guard the tree.
You got a buddy that chooses the dinosaur, you choose the tree. You're like, listen, we can swap things out here.
Right.
You just bring over your guard raptor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
what if the guard raptor slept in the tree? That'd be amazing.
Well, I mean, they can climb.
Best case scenario.
It's been established in Jurassic Park, which is
so.
accurate.
You want to take a break for a second and talk about our sponsor?
Yeah, let's talk about our sponsor.
So again, like we're always open for new sponsors to come on board, but we want to talk about the Salt Collective. We mentioned them last time on the podcast, and we'll continue to mention them because they're our only sponsor as of right now. The Salt Collective is a company that exists to help out small businesses and nonprofits. And the way that they do that is the Salt Collective comes along and helps small businesses and nonprofits with their social media campaigns, helps them with their organization and their business. They will come along and help to teach you all the different things you need to be doing to promote your business, to be able to run your business in the background. They have lots of cool things that they offer. So we want to encourage you to go to remainsalty.com. If you're a small business owner, if you run a nonprofit, if you are someone that knows someone that is a small business owner, encourage them just to check it out. Again, it's remainsalty.com. You can go there and see all the different things that they offer. We love the Salt Collective in particular because we get to record our podcast in the attic of the owner's house, which also happens to be my wife. So it's a benefit for both of us. But we love that. We love the Salt Collective. They're a really cool company, and we hope that you will check them out and use them in the near future. Go check out their Facebook page too, the Salt Collective. They got a lot of cool videos and stuff on there. You get to see some stuff from Pioneer Cattle. Shout out to them. That's our good friends Gabe and Charity that run that. They raise belted Galloway cows for beef, and it is amazing. I have had much I don't know if that's the proper way to say that, of their beef. But they're one of the companies that uses the Salt Collective, and we would love to see you check them out as well. Again, that's remainsalty.com. What are we diving into next there? I see Josh is working diligently on the other side of the table trying to figure out what he's going to talk about.
So I had an idea when we were recording the last one.
Okay.
So we brought up one of our divisive hot takes, right?
Yeah,
So,
we did briefly mention the fact that you don't like my favorite Batman.
So I thought we could take this opportunity, 'cause we've done this before,
okay,
but just not in a recording fashion. Let's recast Batman characters.
Recasting Batman characters.
Yes.
So you're talking about all the major guys that are in the Batman
I have a
roles.
list. I have a list of the characters, from the antagonists to the main characters and things like that. So do we want to start out with heavy hitters first? I'm gonna write all these down as we go. So
yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. All right. So,
wherever you want to start at.
All right. So let's start out with I think probably the one that has been, I almost want to say, the most iterations done of it, in my opinion. And some have been okay, some have been better than others. My favorite DC character of all time,
gotta be the Joker.
It's the Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, the Joker is such...
That makes total sense for you.
So, who are you casting as the Joker?
Man, we gotta pick somebody to play the Joker. You know, my knee-jerk reaction going into this is Willem Dafoe. What's that laugh about?
I mean, that's like my... top
Joker.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. Like we're in agreement on that one.
Yeah,
right?
which is really, because
I love Willem Dafoe. His smile sans makeup, right? Like he doesn't even need the Joker makeup on to make his smile look like what I picture the Joker being in real life. And then on top of that is that laugh that we get from the Goblin.
Oh yeah, like I'm not a huge Marvel person. Like I've watched a few of the movies. I'm not like I don't watch all of the Marvel movies, but
Josh is a little more of a DC fan than he is
Marvel. No, actually, I'm just like not really a superhero movie fan.
Really?
Like
usually when we talk, that you lean more into the DC stuff than you do into the Marvel.
But because I've always been in the camp that DC has better villains and Marvel has better heroes.
Yeah, totally agree.
If you could cross over, I think that would be the best of both worlds. But
how dare you not like Superman?
Oh gosh, Superman's just
that'll be on one of our future overrated.
So
things.
But if you think about, like, they did such a perfect job casting Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
Oh, 100%, man.
I think Marvel nails their casting, but what they did to my boy Venom in Spider-Man 3 completely put me off of superhero movies. Like, I'm sorry, Topher Grace as Venom, like
Yeah,
as Eddie Brock, that was a terrible casting.
That was pretty terrible.
Like, and don't get me wrong, Tobey Maguire I think makes a pretty decent Peter Parker. He's a little bit older than what is in the comics, but I lean more into the comic side of things. But I think Willem Dafoe plays that chaotic evil perfectly.
No, I'll give you that for sure.
Okay.
What's the guy who's like the current Spider-Man? I can't remember his name right offhand.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland.
Yeah,
as
I think
Spider-Man.
he's the right age for Spider-Man. I think that is a nail on the head.
And he's got a good personality.
He
like
does. He has that
kind of
quirky, awkward,
sarcastic, but yeah.
But I think it's the
awkwardness,
awkwardness that the teenage awkwardness that kind of shows through his Peter Parker. Okay,
for sure. Yeah.
All right, so we're in agreement.
So we agree on
one.
the Joker. We got that nailed down.
Okay.
Who's next on your list?
Let's do another one of my, I think, underrated villains in DC.
Okay.
Sandman.
Sandman's a tough one, mainly because like the way that I think of Sandman is like 1998 Batman cartoon, right? So I'm coming home from school, sitting down with my bowl of cereal that I ate every day after school, and watching Batman, and like so when I see the Sandman kind of in that setting, man, I don't tell me yours, and I've got a guy in mind, but I gotta pull up and figure out.
Like I think. Because, like, the big thing is, with the Sandman is that almost, and I kind of liked how they did it in the movies, like, with his, like, whole redemption thing throughout, even, what was it, Spider-Man 3? Was it Spider-Man 3 with Sandman?
Yes. I think so.
He's one of the very few characters that I don't mind the casting.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man 3.
And because who played him in Spider-Man 3?
It was Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah, I think he is a very good, because he has that little bit of a I want to feel bad for you, but like can turn the villain on like immediately. Yeah, and I think that's a good representation of Sandman.
I'll give you that. I like Thomas Hayden Church. I didn't mind him as Sandman at all. I totally agree with your assessment on that. I think that he was probably one of the better castings that we've had. Yeah, in
that era.
But he was, so he's like a crossover between Spider-Man and, because we're talking about like the Batman villains, right?
Yeah.
So like,
oh yeah, I was thinking of, no, what's Sam? I thought Sandman was in.
Is he? That's what I was trying to figure out, because I was thinking he was too, because there is this, it might not be Sandman, might not be his name, but there's a guy that is.
It's, I know exactly.
Clay, right?
Yeah, Clayface.
Clayface. That's the one that I was thinking of in my head,
and
from the cartoon.
I think the same thing bodes true. I
see what you're saying, that actor would play Clayface.
Yeah.
So my pick on that one for Clayface would actually be Vincent D'Onofrio.
Okay.
So the only other time that we've seen Vincent like play the bad guy per se has been he played Kingpin in the Daredevil show,
right? And
I liked him as the bad guy in that one, but I just feel like for Clayface, he's that wide range of an actor too that could kind of pull you into the downtrodden story of what happened to Clayface, but also give you that like rage deal that Clayface goes through a lot of the time. So I think that
you said Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. So he would be, I think, my pick if I was gonna throw one out there.
What about Scarecrow?
Scarecrow's a tough one, man.
Cillian Murphy did a really good job.
I was about to say, Cillian was one of the best iterations of Scarecrow I think that we've seen.
I think of the modern movies, he's one of the home runs that they hit with that one.
Who voiced Scarecrow? Wasn't it what's his name? I think I can't believe him. Mark Hamill. He did the Joker in the animated series of Batman.
Yeah, and can we talk about like though him being an iteration of the Joker? Like I think Mark Hamill is another.
He'd be a strong one. I think he's getting too aged for it though now.
Because
unless we did like future Batman stuff.
Well, no, like I have a whole rabbit hole that I've gone down in my head of like how to recast and revamp the Batman to make it Batman Beyond. Like I think there's an avenue that you could go to, and if you've ever read, what is it, 3 Jokers, that there's actually multiple iterations of the Joker. It's not just one person. Mm-hmm. So I think he could be like one of those.
So the guy that voiced Scarecrow in the animated series was Jonathan Crane.
Why does that name sound familiar?
That's what I'm looking up, because I don't know that I know Jonathan Crane. It's funny, when you search for him, the only picture that comes up is Scarecrow from the animated series. That's funny. No. I think I'm mistaken. Jonathan Crane is Scarecrow's name.
Oh.
So it was Henry Pollock II.
Wait, like the painter?
Jackson Pollock?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, according to this, it was Henry Pollock II was the guy that voiced Scarecrow. But he does not, at least physical appearance based on what I'm looking at right now, does not look like a guy that I would pick.
Well, like, yeah, and that, like, that's I don't know. I don't want to say the problem with the voice actors. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of these voice actors are voice actors.
Oh, they're amazing at doing the voices, but not exactly like the look of the person that you would think.
And I mean, like with Mark Hamill, like that's one of the exceptions. He does a very good job both because he played another DC villain in The Flash, the Trickster. I think he was the Trickster in the Flash TV show.
I didn't watch The Flash. I couldn't get into it.
The kids watched it. I passively watched it. I mean, it was good, but okay.
So I don't know. Like Scarecrow, that would be a tough one for me to answer. I think that.
What about oh no.
Hot take: Christopher Walken as Scarecrow.
I just don't think that the pauses would do very well.
Tell me.
Skarsgård.
Your deepest fear.
Skarsgård. The one that played Pennywise.
Oh, I'm not familiar with Pennywise at all, so
he was the Joker in Gotham.
The Joker in Gotham. Joker in the Gotham series was played by Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
That's
Why
the
did
guy.
I think? Yeah, but that's. I mean.
Yeah. So Cameron Monaghan is his name.
I think he would be good, and then like I said,
Good as the Scarecrow.
yeah, because he has that chaotic
Kind of evil thing going on. Gotcha.
Bill Skarsgård is who played him.
Who was it?
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Like, I was just saying you've probably seen him in another thing.
I definitely recognize his face for sure.
But like I think he has a very, very much embodied that.
Yeah, he's got a pretty dark like history of
Like he plays some
things he's been in.
Yeah.
Who's our next character? So
Okay.
we've got what? The Joker, we've got Clayface, we got Scarecrow.
What about the Riddler?
The Riddler, man. The Riddler is an interesting one because Jim Carrey, surprisingly enough,
Like as campy as that movie is, like
it was not
does
bad.
a really good job.
It wasn't bad as the Riddler and stuff like that. So I think you'd have to have somebody that's kind of zany like that, but that's able to do also kind of like they need to be zany with a touch of intellectual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he's a very highbrow level character.
Yes.
That people don't realize because they unfortunately see the green tights with the black question marks on it and the red hair.
Yes, the whole get up does not really sell you as high class.
To be fair, the
villain.
TV series wasn't much better.
I don't know. Like that's one of the ones that like you got to find the right person. Jim Carrey could do that because he was kind of a wide range type of dude.
Right.
That he could, he proved like through like Truman Show and stuff like that he could do funny and serious at the same time. And he proved it when he played the Riddler. As far as like modern day guys that are kind of pulling that same thing off, I don't know. I don't know who would have like that kind of. I'm trying to think through like movies and TV shows that I've seen recently and think of.
You want to hear a wild take?
Let's go.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp? Okay. I could kind of see that. You know who like popped into my mind, but I think is also another wild take?
Who?
The guy that played Ted Mosby on How I Met Your Mother. Like the kind of main guy.
Doogie Howser.
No, it wasn't Doogie Howser. That's not the same guy. Promise you. 100% it's not the same guy. Who played Ted Mosby?
Oh, I was thinking of the other guy.
That's Josh Radnor. So there's a Josh. See, we should get him on the show at some point in time. Yeah, Josh Radnor was the guy that played Ted Mosby, and Doogie Howser is played by
Patrick. Wait, no,
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, Neil Patrick.
So Neil Patrick Harris was the other guy. On that show.
That's I never really watched How I Met Your Mother, so.
Yeah, he was the one that was like the ladies' man and all that kind of stuff. But
I could see that.
Josh Radnor, like I think that he's like, because I've watched so actually in the introduction of our show that all of you hear each time we play it, there's at least like one line in there that is it's actually from Josh Radnor and Neil Patrick Harris sitting on a panel. It's the one where I forget what he's saying. He's laughing and he says something about like Josh on it and stuff. So that would be my kind of like wild take as far as who could play the Riddler.
Hear me out.
Okay.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. Yeah, I can see that. I could totally see that.
Like, I think I was like thinking of when I went to that, I was like,
that's a good
that would
pick.
actually be a really, because he can play that dramatic. I mean, The Quiet Place.
Yeah. No, I that I can totally get on board with. I think he would do great with the funny and great with the dramatic part of it. So that's a solid one. Let's go to like this will be one that'll put us in a different category. Who are you picking for Catwoman? Because like she's like a major player in Batman's kind of world.
But I think she's a very undervalued character because.
And I'll say like right off the bat that I didn't mind Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I thought that she carried herself well in that role. I didn't feel like she was crazy enough, right?
Right.
Because early iterations we see like Nicole Kidman and the people like that playing.
Like I think she played a great Catwoman because she was that borderline crazy.
Yeah, a little bit loco type of thing. So, yeah.
Dang, that's a hard one.
That's a tough one. I don't know who I would throw into that category right now because you would need somebody that can play the crazy, but also there's the cat side of Catwoman that she's crazy enough that she thinks she's like at least like part feline,
right? And
so somebody's got to kind of fit into that category to a degree. What's her face? The Anya Taylor-Joy, I think is her name. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
She could possibly kind of be there because she's got a little bit of a crazy streak kind of thing in some of her movies. The Queen's Gambit, like when she was in that show. What was the movie? Oh, what was the one where they go to have the meal? Have you seen that one? You know what I'm talking about? The Menu.
The Menu.
Yeah. Did you watch that?
No, a podcast I listen to does like a bunch of like horror movies, and that was one of the ones that they did.
Yeah, so The Menu was number one, just a wild ride of a movie. But at the same time, like you see some of that in her during that movie of kind of that ability to balance the serious, crazy kind of deal and stuff too. So I think that she could be a good choice for that.
What about Jenny Ortega?
Wednesday?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Or the other one they're like cut from the same cloth. I know you Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't think of her name right offhand.
I think one of those two would actually.
You're talking about Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah,
Aubrey, she would definitely have the crazy part down pat. I think she could nail that easily. Whether she could pull off the more serious part of the role will be the question. But I think Jenna Ortega could definitely do that as well.
Yeah. Let's go to another divisive.
Okay.
Let's just get it out there. Batman.
Christian Bale. I'm just kidding. I know you hate him. So
it's not that.
That's my joke one. I wouldn't throw him back in that role again. I mean, he was, in my opinion, again, you know that I think that he was the best of the Batman that we've had so far. But if we're gonna pick like a new person to play Batman these days, that's a tough one, man. You got to get the guy that's gonna be the perfect balance of socialite Bruce Wayne, rich playboy kind of thing, and then on the flip side of it, he's got to be Batman, right? Like,
right.
He's got to be this dude who's just hard as nails, can catch any criminal, is a mastermind, sleuth, all of that stuff kind of rolled into one. I don't know. Who's your take? Because I can see it on your face. Like, if you guys could see Josh's look right now, he's just like busting at the seams.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I could see that to a degree.
I honestly think though he would be the closest we would ever get to a true Bruce Wayne Batman.
I can see that.
We've had this discussion before. Like people have played really good Bruce Waynes.
Yeah.
And really good Batman.
Yep.
Nobody can nail both.
Except for Christian Bale. But yeah, like I'm just gonna keep taking that
my
jab.
back.
Like, oh yeah.
Dark.
Yeah, I think that Tom Hardy is a good pick.
And I honestly think what sells it for me with Tom Hardy is how he played Bane.
Yeah, Bane. He did an excellent job as Bane.
Because Bane is an underrated and an underappreciated Batman villain. I'll just say that because
there's no doubt about that.
He was portrayed zany in the movies,
right,
in the 90s.
Yeah.
But that wasn't who Bane was.
They went over the top on the movies.
He was
in the
just
90s.
a mindless killing machine.
Yeah.
But Bane was very intelligent. He was very strategic.
Yeah. No, I did enjoy him as Bane. As Batman, I could see it. I don't know that he would be my like number one pick. And that's what I'm trying to think through is like there's guys out there that I feel like have the range to be able to pull it off. But it's like, typically if I find the guy that in my mind is a Leonardo DiCaprio type of guy,
right,
who has the acting range to be both, but doesn't have the physical prowess of Batman, right? That's where I think you're winning out with Hardy is that you are right, like in the sense that he has the ability to be the imposing figure of Batman.
That I am the knight.
And
like,
do the acting part of it in a sense and stuff. You know, we've talked about him before as being Scarecrow and doing an excellent job, but Cillian Murphy would also be one that I could kind of see.
Right.
I think he would struggle in the Bruce Wayne department.
See, I don't know. I don't think he would.
See, and I'm only basing that off of like.
Have you watched Peaky Blinders?
Yes. So like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I
Like-
see Peaky Blinders, and then seeing Oppenheimer, some of those kinds of things that he's been in. He's so serious,
Right.
that I think that the rich playboy part of it would be hard
Right.
for him.
I would actually say the opposite, because I think that side, that serious side,
Yeah.
with a little bit of that philanthropy, I think he would lean more into that side of Bruce Wayne,
Right.
Not necessarily the outlandish Iron Man approach.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, he's not going to quite be Tony Stark, but
it's the intimidating presence that I don't see out of him.
okay.
Like basically the flip of the Hardy discussion.
Sure. But I've always wondered, though, like, if Killian was given a role where he had to get, like, jacked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just, because I feel like, you know, if you take the rough and tumble from Peaky Blinders Killian
Right.
and mix it with the acting of Oppenheimer Killian,
I think you could get
that's a pretty killer Batman. But at the same time, you know, like, once you've played Scarecrow and been that guy and been so awesome at it, like, how do you then transition over to Batman too? That's kind of a tough one. So maybe Tom Hardy is our best bet for that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's Robin?
That's a hard one. Like,
Robin, in my mind, is one of the toughest ones, and only because we've seen such a wide range of Robins, right? Because Robin has been the super serious sidekick and like second in command in that sense, and then he's also been like the zany kind of out there dude. So we've seen so many different Robins over time.
my mind automatically goes to animated series and Batman Beyond and those
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Robins, because I think those are more accurate Robins.
Teen Titans Go.
No. Teen Titans, yes.
Just the super silly Robin from Teen Titans Go. But
No,
I love both
the
of those
overly
series.
serious.
Yeah.
but
Oh gosh, the super dramatic from the original Teen
Dude,
Titans.
the original Teen Titans was such a good TV show.
It was excellent. If you're out there right now
Perfect,
and
no
you're
notes.
under the age of like 35, you should do yourself a favor and go look up the original Teen Titans show and go check that out, because that's like our time period from when Josh and I would have been like late high school. Josh would have been like early middle school, like maybe ish, like when it started.
Because you graduated in what, 2000?
01.
01?
Yeah.
I graduated in 04.
So we're not that far apart.
No,
then.
like
But
3 years.
Back when we were like, when I was in high school, that was my jam. And in the afternoons was, we had Batman and then Batman Beyond, the animated series, like both of those. And then we had Teen Titans came on like when Batman stopped. And then we got Teen Titans Go later on, which I've watched with my kid and we both enjoy a lot. But there's a lot of like solid cartoons from back then that you guys should totally check out if you haven't seen them before. Anyways, that's a side note. You're welcome. That one's for free.
But yeah, but my take for Robin, yeah, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah, I could see that. Like a little bit of the goofy but mixed in with the
Yeah.
serious and stuff. I could totally see that.
Yeah,
that's
I think-
a solid pick, dude.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like I got no arguments on that one whatsoever.
Okay. The single most important, and we'll end on this one.
Okay.
The single most important character in Batman, Alfred.
Oh, Alfred. Jeez. How do you beat Michael Caine in Alfred?
I have one person, and like this, you would have to go back a little bit to like their prime.
Okay.
Tim Curry.
So you're talking about like Home Alone 2, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, the original It from Pennywise, like
As Alfred? I mean, I could kind of
Clue,
see it.
like-
Yeah. I suppose I'm having like a really hard time just imagining anyone but Michael Caine.
yeah. No, I think he did a great job. And
I don't know who voiced him in Lego Batman, but whoever that dude was, like we should consider him too, because that was a freaking solid. Oh, it was Ralph Fiennes, the guy that was the chef in The Menu, the movie we were talking about a while ago.
oh,
Dude, I would love to see him play Alfred.
he's perfect. Yeah.
Like him just trying to keep like Batman in check and stuff and keep him alive while he's doing his thing.
Like that fits so well.
Yeah, he's
Voldemort,
great.
like, yeah, that fits so well.
He's kind of balding now and stuff, so he would
That would nope. Yep, I think you might have
like
found
take the Lego Alfred and just bring him to life and
Yeah.
make him
yeah.
Would you like a lobster pomodoro now, sir? It's so good.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. And then
Freaking Lego Batman, dude. First try.
yeah. And then I was thinking,
Solid.
just as a quick aside, Channing Tatum as Bane.
Channing Tatum as Bane. I hate that.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. That's me and you disagreeing on that one because Channing Tatum, he's got like the acting depth of a thimble. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, but also, I think if you give him that role, he might actually nail it.
I don't know. As Bane, I'm trying to think through like who would be like a perfect Bane character. That's a tough one to nail down too, in my opinion. Just because, like, again, when we have Tom Hardy's Bane character, like, who are you gonna throw?
Oh no, I take that back. I know the perfect one. He's a seasoned what?
The only thing that crossed my mind was Jack Black. Like, just because of the way you were smiling when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, let's throw Nacho Libre in there with the mask on.
This goes with our theme. Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin, man. I could see that.
Yeah, Josh Brolin, I think would be.
Brolin got jacked for some of his roles, man. He's a big dude.
Cable.
Yeah,
like I
what I'm
think
saying.
watching him play Cable makes me think of him being more perfect for Bane.
Yeah,
because of him doing Thanos, like, and being that very
Right,
serious
right.
character, but having that slightly serious, quirky from Deadpool.
Shout out Josh Brolin. Hey, if you want
Yeah.
to come on the podcast, man, just let
Another
us know.
Josh.
We know you're listening right now.
Oh,
so,
of course.
Yeah, we appreciate
So,
you.
All right. Well, I think that was fun.
That was
we
good
might
stuff.
We might have to do that with
running
other,
through the Batman episodes.
other movies, like, because I think we've done that, like, just in passing.
Oh,
before.
100%. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we've recast just in our like normal conversation, so we could totally do that. Well, as we get ready to wrap up for today, we'll do all of our normal things that people do at the end of the podcast, and we'll tell you that we would love for you to go and check out our social media pages. We should have it in all the normal places. So
Yep. Check the link in the description.
yeah, go follow us, give us a like, make sure you stay up to date on all the different things.
Hit the download if you want to listen to this on the go. If you're driving in the car, driving, working out, things like that. And also tell your friends. That's one of the greatest ways to spread the news about the podcast. At this point, we probably just have our friends tied up and listening to this on repeat so we can get views. And
Yeah, they've got it just like randomly playing in places in their house where they're not listening to us anymore. But do that. We would also love if you would give us a review on whatever platform you're listening to us on. If you would just take the time to give us a 5-star review, because let's be honest, if you're going to give us a 1-star review, just stop listening and don't do a review at all, because we would rather you not. That'd be awesome.
Right.
But if you're going to give us a review at all, leave us 5 stars. Even if you want to leave us a critique in your 5-star review, that's okay. But give us 5 stars because it helps us in all of the algorithms, helps us to be recognized by more people. And our goal, again, is not to necessarily become famous, not to try to make any kind of money off of this. Our goal with this podcast is to be able to bring joy into your life, into the lives of other people.
And
hopefully
just have fun.
Yeah, just have fun and entertain you for a little while. And hopefully make you laugh sometimes at some of our stupidity and some of our ideas that we throw out.
And if you give us a 5-star review, we might actually read your comments on the next episode. So,
Yeah, there you go. That's a good incentive there. So we would love to hear. And also if you have some opinions on who you would cast in some of the different
Exactly.
roles on the Batman franchise, please throw those out there. We would love to read those, and we might bring those up on the next couple episodes. as
Or
well.
what invention would you go back and uninvent?
Yeah, well, yeah. What would you do? Are you with me on my lawnmower thing, or is there something else that you would go back and uninvent and not have in the world? Anyways, leave those comments, leave those likes and subscribes and all that good stuff, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Love you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You could be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yes.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Joshua.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh. Thank you very much. Hi.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
Josh!